Hey guys, welcome back from spring break. I hope you had a great week off of digital learning and are ready to get back at it. So what I wanted to do to get started this week is to go over exactly what our expectations are for this week. So when you're on our Canvas homepage, you'll notice that the tasks here, there's just two. One of them's optional, and that's our discussion post like we have every week. There's no general discussion for this week. It's just any general questions or comments that you have about class or about grades. So you can go in there this week and post those, and Ms. Klein and I can get back to you throughout the week. Or, of course, if it's more specific to you, you can send us an email. Now, the second thing is the assignment for this week, and it seems like, oh, there's just one assignment, but it's a little involved, so I want you to take a look at what is expected of you by on Friday, April the 24th at 3 o'clock. So if you'll click on that assignment link in Canvas, it takes you to this page. So it says for your work this week, we're going to go back to the extended essay mini project. We started that before spring break. I really wanted to do that in a hard copy to create folders for you guys that you could take with you so you can move on into AP or DP classes, maybe with your extended essay, but that just didn't work out. So what I want you to do is to go back to where we were looking at our basic foundations of identifying a topic, a subject, and of course some research. Now this is not just an assignment for students who are going on into DP. It's an activity for any student who's going on into advanced level courses or into college and are looking for ways to research. And this is a research process. And most people who do research accept this kind of process for doing research. So let's take a look at the Google Docs. So if you'll click on that, you'll need to make a copy for yourself because it's edit only. And so once you make a copy for yourself, you'll be able to type into that and you'll be able to upload that to Canvas. So the first question we have is the subject. So you need to identify one more time an IB subject for a possible extended essay. And there are 3 sites that you have here, and so you can click on those and we'll take you to those. Let me get myself out of the way. On the right hand side over here, there's a list of subject guides that you could take a look through if that's something that you're interested in, to identify your subject guide. Or you could look at this PDF here, and that actually you could use the table of contents. It's a lot more involved. It puts pretty much all of the resources there. But it's this one we've seen before, so if you'll scroll down to the table of contents, let's try that again. If you'll scroll down to the table of contents, pause video. Okay, so that took a little while to load. Let's try it again. If you'll scroll down to the table of contents, you could see all of the different topics that are very specific, and you of course could go directly to the page number for your topic if you wanted to do economics, for example, if you wanted to do philosophy. There's also the sciences there. They're very specific, like sports, exercise, and health science, mathematics, and of course the arts that we have there. So you could go through and check those for your particular subject. And this is a little different from what we started out with before spring break. I asked you guys to identify a topic, then we looked at subjects. But really, in theory, how you're supposed to do this, a lot of people suggest to identify a subject you'd like to really get involved with first, and then you could go into a topic. Now this third side, of course, you could click on that, but you would have to, it's a little complicated, but it's very helpful. You look at these different groups, and you could click on those. Let's say, for example, the arts. Then you could click on the arts, and it would take you to the visual arts guide, which you would click on and wait for that to download, and you could find some information about the visual arts. But I think that's the least helpful of all 3 apps. So again, I would recommend using this first one or the second one. But then look at a topic. We tried to narrow this down before we went to spring break. If you're interested in studying theater, what about the theater are you interested in? So this could be kind of a jumble of words. It doesn't have to necessarily be a complete sentence. I'm not asking for a research question yet. I'm not asking for a thesis statement yet. We'll work on those things next week after you get some of that preliminary research done. And so that's what you're doing here in number 3. So I've taken a little different approach with this to look at your research. I wanted you to be able to find 5 primary or secondary sources. It depends on what your subject guide says you can do. Some of them don't allow for primary sources. Some of them only allow for secondary sources. So you have to be aware of that and go into that and look again. But you'll see some questions here for each source chart or table here. You have questions on the left-hand side to list your source, so you could copy and paste the URL, the name of the book, the person, identify if it's primary or secondary. Then this will be a little bit longer here. For this particular cell, you're going to put 3 key points of information you could use that's summarized from your topic. If you're looking at an article, at least 3 key points. If you can add more, but you have to have at least 3. If you can't find 3, then you need to find another substantive source so that you can use that to start for your preliminary research to really define a research question and start working on that thesis. And then have at least 1 quote from this source that you could use. If you can't find a good quote, it's probably not a good preliminary source to use. You could save that for later for other resources for sure, but we're looking for preliminary sources, and these should be foundational elements that you can use to further your knowledge and your questioning on your topic. And then evaluate your source. I'm asking you to figure out why you chose this source. What's its value? What's its limitations? Evaluate its credibility. So this is going to be a little lengthy too in terms of your response. And you have 5 of those tables for each source, for sources 1 through 5. Now, while that might not seem like a lot, my expectation is specifically this. It should take you at least 2 good hours to look for not only a subject and a topic, and you may want to change from what you were doing. Maybe this whole global pandemic has got you interested in something different, or maybe you're just now interested in something different, so you don't have to stick with what you were doing before, so you can start fresh and new. And this is kind of repetitive for some of us, but we need to have this together to work on stage 2, which is going to be working on our research question development and a thesis development and furthering that. And eventually we're going to put this together in a presentation for a possible beginning for an extended essay topic. So really, what should you do to get started? Pick something that you're really interested in, especially as we're doing a lot of stuff online anyway. This is something you should be willing to and excited about looking at and researching. Don't pick something deadly dull. You're going to get bored before this particular phase is over. And this is supposed to be the fun part where you're looking at a lot of resources. It can be overwhelming as well too. But what we're going to talk about next week is going to be also methodology. So why are you choosing the sources that you are? And why are you leaving some out? So you have to be aware of that as you're going through. Don't just pick the first 5 sources that you Google about your topic. Really be specific and deliberate about sources that are foundational to your understanding of a topic and that could also help you develop an argument, which is going to create your research question and your thesis. So again, this assignment is for everyone, not just for students who are going into DP. If you have any questions about this assignment, please email Ms. Klein, email me. We're here to help you this week. Generally, we're here from about 8 to 2. During the day, we'll be watching our email, so send us questions if you need to. That's pretty important to understand. I'm excited to see what you guys are going to come up with. This is an interesting time where you can kind of get a jump and an understanding on things before you go into next year. So if you have any questions, you know what to do. Send us an email.